A header is text that appears at the head of every page in a document. What we want to do is add headers to this particular document called long header footer. Now the first thing I'm going to do is just change my magnification level. I'm going to click on the plus in the lower right corner of my status bar and just zoom in a little bit. And then I'll press Control Home to the top of the document. Starting from the top of the document, with regards to a header, I would choose Insert in the ribbon, and from there you'll see a button called Header. There are some built-in headers, but I actually want to edit the header manually, so I'll click Edit Header. I'm immediately taken into the header for section 1. If this document didn't have sections, you would just be taken straight into header, but because this document is broken into sections, you can have varying headers per section. As far as navigating around your sections, we're in the header for section 1, and we're now in the Header and Footer Tools Design tab in the ribbon. If I was to go next, I would be in the header for section 2, and by default, whatever appears in section 2 is the same as previous. So if you were to type Introduction in the header for section 1, it would automatically show in section 2 because this section is the same as previous. And if I go next, all sections in fact are the same as previous. This is the header for section 3, header for section 4, 5, 6, and that's it. Previous just moves you back to the previous headers. Now while I'm sitting in the header for section 1, and I might just hit my minus in my status bar to zoom out a bit, I want the heading Introduction to appear. So I'm going to type Introduction. Then when I click Next, Introduction, as I mentioned earlier, automatically appears in the header for section 2. Now I want section 2 not to be the same as previous and to have its own header. So I'm going to break the link to previous by clicking this button here. If I break the link to previous, the little same as previous tag disappears, and now I can type background. If I go next, I will also break the link to previous, and I'll type initiatives. Click next, break the link to previous, and strategies. Click next, break the link to previous, and recommendation. And lastly, next, break the link to previous, and conclusion. And I'll go previous, 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 until I'm back to the header for section 1. If I then hit the button Close Header and Footer, I can see in very light grey the header that appears at the head of each section. If I go back to the top of my document, unfortunately I can see Introduction on the first page of section 1 when I don't want it on the first page of section 1. So to get into the header another way besides going Insert Header, Edit Header, is to double click where you can see a header. I'm going to double click Introduction. Now I do want Introduction to be the header for section 1, but just not the first page. So I'm going to say Different First Page. Now I have the first page header for section 1, and if I go next, here is the rest of the header for section 1, which is exactly what I'm after. So you can have a different first page for each section, and you can also have different odd and even pages for sections. And I'll close.